Good afternoon, guys. Today we're going to talk about Project Titans, like what are our walkthrough of the negotiation strategies. Okay, brief introduction. Uh, I am Pankaj, and along with my team members, David, Vandana, and Simranjeet, we will be guiding you through key negotiation techniques that can help resolve stakeholders' concerns and improve project outcomes. In this video, we will cover the importance of negotiation in project management, key principles of negotiation, practical techniques, and a real-world case scenario to demonstrate how these strategies work in practice.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Today I am talking about the importance of negotiation in project management. We have critical benefits. For example, the aligns diverse stakeholder interests. The second is resolves conflict effectively. And the last is the builds stronger client relationships. We have this case in the critical events in our project, the Titan case. Mr. Kennedy dissatisfaction presents a real challenges. Our goals is to restore confidence and ensure project success through effective negotiation.
Morning, everyone. My name is Simranjeet Singh, and as you all know, that we are discussing the negotiation strategies. Our whole guide, our whole process was to create a negotiation strategy, and the main key principles of negotiation strategies will be discussed by me. As you all know, that for the proper negotiation, you must need a proper preparation, leading to proper and activate the listening skills of your whole team, creating a clear communication so that the whole problems which you are facing throughout the team or throughout with the projects or with the stakeholders, you can solve those problems. That will ultimately create the trust building activity throughout your team and with other partners as you will be collaborating with. Successful negotiation is basically based on five core principles. First is preparation, as as I told you, is the key, gathering relevant project data and understanding stakeholders' concern. Secondly, will be activate listening, ensuring we accurately interpret their needs. Their needs are our priority. The needs which stakeholders are carrying. We have to firstly prioritize their needs. Then the third will be the clear communication. Communication is the main channel through which we talk with our team and with the stakeholders, avoiding misunderstandings. The fourth one will be the problem solving skills. Every team lead or the project manager has those skills in it, which are problem solving skills. That approach fosters collaboration rather than conflicts. We have to basically solve the conflicts, and the finally we create the trust, building trust throughout transparency and reliability, strengthening our stakeholders' relationship. These five parameters are which we take among us so that we can solve any problem we deal with the project or with our stakeholders in any life aspects also. These can be used throughout the project so that we negotiate with them without creating problems, without fostering or without encouraging more conflicts with them.
It was a beautiful thing. Simply explain. All right. Now let's apply these principle in a real-world situation. In this scenario, Mr. Kennedy is concerned about missed deadlines. Watch how our manager uses negotiation techniques such as empathy. Like in empathy, we acknowledge stakeholders' concerns and validate their perspective even when you disagree. Transparency, where we share the openly, like we share each and everything to maintain a transparency between the stakeholders and team. The next one is the follow-up. Like we schedule regular check-ins, maintain consistent engagement with concerned stakeholders, and we always try to like get updated. And the last one is the documentation. We record all the decisions and create clear documentation of agreements and action items.
Let me take you all through the example that is basically the scenario which we were facing with Mr. Kennedy's concern. That was basically he was basically frustrated with us. The scenario was Mr. Kennedy expressed frustration about, excuse me, Mr. Kennedy's expressed frustration about missed deadlines on Project Titan. We were busy with our project. We all know that while working on a project, sometimes due to certain reasons or certain problems we face in a project, we might not be able to complete the deadlines. We would not achieve them properly. So we miss them. It might take one more day, a month. It can be, the time can exceed. We are not sure about those timelines which we set, that are just the predictions. We are cannot be sure about that, and we missed that. And Mr. Kennedy was frustrated with them. We have firstly, if we prepare the whole scenario, what was the scenario? This was the whole scenario. Then we acknowledge the project manager validation concern about being defensive, slows empathy. The project manager was also concerned, so he showed empathy to Mr. Kennedy so that he can become he can approach to this scenario calmly and maintain and negotiate with them so that he must also understand the problems they are facing. Sometimes the stakeholders, they get angry on missing the deadlines or any of their concerns. Then the project manager here has the the main one who takes the uh, whole scenario among them with him, so that he can solve the problem. Then he solve solution preparation. The third one, as I discussed, the key roles, five main roles, was to prepare. Then you listen to the stakeholders. Then you solve the problem. Then you collaborate with them, and at the end that creates the trust. This is also the whole steps which I am explaining you. This is the whole scenario which we were addressing. That the first one, the problem Mr. Kennedy was facing, then the project manager validates through and listens to the Mr. Kennedy, then he prepares the solution so that he can have a clear justification for, yeah, and they can adjust accordingly. Then the collaboration part, both parties work together to refine the solution. They have to collaborate, they have to understand each other's problems so that they can collaborate with them and not create the conflict or not make more problems with them. More problems will be making the deadlines, where they will not be able to complete those deadlines further also. Then the resolution negotiation concludes with mutual agreement and renewed project alignment. That's the main one, that's the trust building. If the whole of the problem was resolved, that will obviously the negotiation has been done by the project manager, renewed with project aligned and the mutual agreement. They have mutually understand each other. They understand their problems. That was basically done by the project manager. He was the main reason they negotiate properly. He was the one who listened to Mr. Kennedy, understand his problems, make his concerns are important, and then if the other person's this is basically emotional intelligence, you can say. Also emotionally, if you are emotionally strong, if you know about emotional intelligence, you can manipulate the stakeholders. Manipulation is not like to in a negative way. You can positively manipulate them with their words. You can, if you are listening to someone, other will also make sure that other things that you are taking him seriously. Mr. Kennedy was manipulated in a positive way by the project manager. At the end, they collaborated and the problem was resolved. Risk analysis planning. Risk analysis, the risk which was basically we faced was the main risk faced by the project was deadlines were not achieved, as I discussed earlier. If the deadlines are not achieved, if one of the deadline is forwarded to the next date, the others tasks also get transferred. Then we have to, if that happens, we have to use contingency reserves so that we can take the whole of the project on track again if we don't have more money or If we are not able to resolve that problem, we take the contingency reserve. Contingency planning is also being done accordingly. Effective negotiation is also about managing risks. We have to manage the risk. Some common risk includes miscommunication risk. Miscommunication is can be between the team members and the leader, the stakeholders and the project manager, between anyone can misunderstanding, miscommunication creates is the first risk. And the unmeet expectations. Ex- Expectations risk. If someone is expecting you to complete their tasks on that date and you don't achieve that properly, that can also create conflicts. And the stakeholders disengagement. Disengagement risk. You have to update the stakeholders properly so that they are updated properly. They must also know what you are doing with the project, where you are right now. You are either you are on the track, you will take more time. You have to update stakeholders properly. That is basically the first one risk. The third one and the first one are interlinked. If you are having miscommunication, your communication gap between the stakeholders, you will ultimately face the disagreement risk with stakeholders. You have to communicate with the stakeholders properly. And the fourth one is maintain regular engagement and use conflict resolution techniques to prevent issues for escalation. Conflict risk. Conflict risks are basically to prepare mediation technique, develop structured resolution process in advance. You have to be ready. You have to be ready in advance so that if you face those problems, then you must have a proper plan to execute so that you deal with that problem in a good way, and and in future that problem won't happen again. These can be predictions. These are the predictions. You predict that this might happen and you have the plan ready itself before that risk arises. That is what a project manager does. He is he is the main one who take in consideration each and every detailed point of the whole project and governs the project properly. These are the risk analysis and contingency planning so that we can negotiate with them. We must have a proper communication plan. We must execute the project properly. Must talk with the stakeholders properly. This will ultimately lead to the project going in a smooth way rather than creating or facing risks so that we don't have to negotiate with them. If we face them, we are ready to negotiate in each and every aspect.
All right. Let us directly dive into the conclusion and the key takeaways. So, in summary, negotiation is a critical skill in stakeholder management. By applying principles such as preparation, active listening, and clear communication, we can resolve conflicts effectively. Practical techniques like empathy, transparency, and structured follow up ensure that stakeholder concerns are addressed efficiently. These strategies not only help in Project Titan but can be applied across various projects to enhance collaboration and project success. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to implementing these strategies for better stakeholder relationships. Thank you so much, guys, to be here.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Recording stopped on the